don't do that, right? You know, don't do that. All right. Anyways, we are really happy to have Charlotte Ritchie here at our second annual Eryn Eubanks in the Family Fold Music Festival. She was here with us the first time, and she's a favorite of ours, and we're so glad that she could come and be here to sing for us today.
Thank you.
Charlotte, tell the folks how you got started singing Southern gospel music.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a musical family, and but I never sang. I was very shy, and so I didn't start singing until I was 14. And a friend of ours from school, she invited me to go with her on the weekends. She sang with her dad, and she invited me just to ride along. And we were kind of just goofing off with some songs, and her dad heard me sing. He said, "Hey, why don't you sing with us?" I said, "Oh, sure," thinking he was totally kidding.
Yeah.
And but he wasn't. He called me up to sing, and the rest is kind of history. I traveled with them for a couple of years, and then when I was 17, I got the opportunity to join the Nelons out of Atlanta. I sang with them for about 5 years, and then when we were in Indiana filming some Gaither videos, I met my husband, Greg, who was with Jeff and Sherri Easter.
Yeah.
So I spent the last 12 years of my career with him. And then back last year, we really felt God was leading us into our own ministry, and so we went out on our own, and so that's what we're doing now, and just loving it. God's really opened a lot of doors for us, and we're just excited to see what's around the corner.
That is wonderful. Well, you sound good backing up those fine folks, and then when you're solo too, you're just a wonderful singer. Either way. And you know, she sings on the Gaither Gospel Homecoming series, and they're showing that all the time on TV, and y'all get to sing all around the world. So God's definitely made it to where you're not so shy anymore.
It's funny because, you know, I mean, he definitely doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called.
Exactly.
And I am definitely an example of that, because music, I love music, but I love to sing in the privacy of my bedroom where no one can see or hear me.
Yeah.
But, you know, God just has a way of saying, you know what, I have something different for you to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm very thankful, very grateful for what he's allowed me to do. I've had incredible opportunities, and I'm just really blessed.
Well, he's working beautifully through you. And you're quite the family girl, too.
Yes.
And I was talking with my grandmother. She saw you last year. She was down from Wyoming. And loved your music. And she said, you know, ask her, like, how her normal day would be. Because I just wonder, how does she balance family with, you know, being out on tour and singing at all these different places? How do you do that?
Well, I think I'm a little bit crazy because I have 2 kids, and Landon is 6 and Jane has just turned 1, and we travel full time, and we don't have a bus yet. Maybe one day, but right now that scares me to death. I wouldn't want that responsibility, but we travel. We have a van, and we travel within 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours we drive, and then anything outside of that we fly.
Yeah.
But driving is actually easier because, you know, the airport with everything you have to go through with 2 kids is kind of insane. So, but you know what? We just have. I just try to do my best to balance. I'm a mom first.
Yeah.
And I try to remember that and keep that in focus. And Landon, I homeschooled him for kindergarten, which that was quite an ordeal because I'm not a teacher. I'm not at all a teacher, but we really had fun because, you know, the schedule and everything, we figured that would be the best to do. But we typically, during school year, we would get up and we'd do our breakfast, and then we would do his school in the morning. And then the rest that you have to do, the laundry and the dishes and the cooking and the cleaning and everything else. But it's just trying to find a good balance in keeping your perspectives right.
Right. Well, you're doing good with it. It's like the Carter family said one time after they cut some famous Bristol session. Somebody asked them and said, "Well, what'd y'all do after y'all made that famous recording?" And Mother Maybelle or one of them said, "Well, we went back home and we shucked the corn." Because that was the next thing we needed to do.
It was the next thing on the list.
Hey, speaking of the Carter family, let's sing one of their old songs.
Okay.
How about a little bit of "Will the Circle Be Unbroken"?
Sure.
Standing by my window.
much,
Thank
Charlotte.
you. God bless you, girl. Thank
Keep on
you.
keeping on.
Thank you.
Miss Charlotte Ritchie.